In today's video, we're going to be looking at Bronny James and how he shoots the basketball. If you're looking to shoot the basketball better, this is definitely a video for you. Hit that like button, subscribe, let's get down, let's check them out really quickly. Make sure to go check out the hardest basketball shooting workout down in the description below. Okay, so the first thing that I really want to point out is how balanced he really is. He's sitting down into his shot at roughly a 90-ish degree angle on his hips and then about 90 degrees on his knee. We can actually measure this quite well, and of course we can see that about right there. And then on his hips we can see about 96 roughly degrees. So not too bad. This is a very nice balanced shot. Now when he's going up for his shot, the first thing that I really want to point out is his eyes. He's looking at the rim. He is also scanning the court to see where his defender is. When he goes up into his shot, we can see that he has about 40 degrees, 38 to 40 degrees on his elbow. Now this is actually going to be a slower shot than some of the players who have close to a 90 degree. For example, Scotty Barnes has about an 80-ish, 85 degree angle on his elbow, and that's a much faster shot. We also want to look at his elbow, and on his way up, we can see that he doesn't necessarily bend it all that much. He brings that ball up the middle of his body with his elbow already pre-bent. Now, why this is important is you want to have the least amount of movement on your shot from gather up to set point. This will allow you to have a faster, more accurate shot. We can also see from this angle that he has quite a bit of rotation and spin on his shot. That's one full rotation. That's 2 and about a quarter before it hits the rim. You want to be around 2.5 rotations or more to be able to have that ball hit the rim and hit the rim softer. Also, we can see from this angle the angle of descent onto the rim, which is about 42 to 43 degrees, and that is within line of where you want it to be. So, for example, if this ball comes down too fast, too far, so from too high as an example, then there's a more higher probability where if it hits the rim, it's going to bounce out. However, if it comes in at a lower angle, what's going to happen is that rim looks a lot smaller to the ball, which means that it's going to hit the rim and potentially bounce out. If you come in at roughly 40 to 47 degrees, then that will be an absolutely perfect angle. So for example, if you can come in at 42 to 47 degrees, which is about from there to about there, if you can have that angle of descent on your basketball, then you're going to have a higher probability of that ball bouncing in and hitting the rim softer. We can also see from this angle that his shoulder and elbow are directed towards the rim, and your body needs to be able to turn and adjust to be able to get your shoulder and elbow to the rim. This is extremely important. For Bronny, his shoulders are pretty well in line with the rim, as well as his hips, knees, and even feet when they are on the ground for the most part. So, of course, his right foot, yes, his left foot is slightly out. This could, on his left foot, really could hinder his shot performance, but considering that it's one thing out of 6, that is not going to really make a massive difference. The lead foot is really the important part because that is what gets your right side in line. We can also see when he's going up in his gather, going up into his set point, that he is on his toes. This is important. This really engages the Achilles, which is the springiness to your jump. Also on his release, we can see right here that his elbow is well above his forehead. And to get the actual degree when it comes to his spine to his release, then we're looking at about 26, which is roughly where you want to be. That's actually a pretty darn perfect release. And then when it comes to hand placement, we can see that there is a gap between his palm and the ball, and that his offhand is slightly closer towards the top of the basketball, which usually means that there's a little bit of a thumb flick, which we kind of see there. Not too sure if that really does affect his shot because we can see that he still has that ball in his shooting hand when the thumb is off the ball, which means that the thumb flick really doesn't affect his shot at all. We can also see from this angle that it comes off of his pointer and middle finger, so he has a split finger release, which is generally what you want to see with a shot where you have your elbow and shoulder perfectly in line with the rim. And this is an absolutely perfect angle here where the shoulder, again, we can see is in line with the rim. Coming up for the release, however, we can see that, yes, there is a bit of a thumb flick, but the ball is still in his shooting hand when that thumb flick releases. And that just basically allows that ball to get slightly more over top of that upper arm, as we can see here. This is what I call the shooting triangle. And that is having that ball, at least a quarter to a third of that ball, preferably half of the ball, over top of that upper arm, which will allow for a nice straight shot. Make sure to go check out my hardest basketball shooting workout down in the description below. I hope that this video has helped you. If it has, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.